What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day. We're going to be jumping into the SCP universe with the Exploring series today. Going to follow up with the last video I watched, about the artist and him succumbing to his illness, etc., with Are We Cool Yet? As I guess I probably should have watched this one, beforehand, but the other one was a requested video and it did mention to watch this one first. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to check out the Exploring series, Are We Cool Yet? Links will be down below in the description to the original video without my commentary reaction and to the Exploring series channel. Please do me a favor. If you would, if you like this video as we go through it, go over there and give it a like. And if you enjoy the Exploring series content and you're not already subbed to him, please do me a favor. Click the link down in the description and go over and give the man some love, some support. Definitely deserves it. Makes a lot of wonderful content for the SCP universe as well as others. So please do me a favor, give some support. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video. You can take a look at the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer, see if any of them have any answers for you. If you've been around on the channel for a while and would like to take your support to the next level, just take a look and see if any of that has any interest for you. For now, with all that said and done, let's get into the video. Again, Are We Cool Yet? By the Exploring series.
Are we cool yet?
Yes.
We've
That is
looked
a
at
short
number of
answer.
anomalies.
Done. Video's over. Good night, everybody. Great video. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. You know, if I was prepared, I would have like a blank screen, like credits to roll and, all that kind of stuff. But, I'm not, so the bit failed.
So far through the scope of both science and religion. Anomalies with origins beyond our planet or reality. Anomalies created through foolish accidents or from ancient rituals. What we haven't really looked at, though, are anomalies created through the scope of art. Art is a subjective concept, one heavily divorced from the cold, clinical nature of the SCP Foundation, and so that's why we'll be discussing a group of interest focused on anomalous art.
I think most of these, as far as I know, if not all of these, are related to Alagata in some way. They either lead to Alagata or whatever. They whoever reads them can come in contact with the ambassador, or there's like a flesh pact, etc. So I'm interested to, I guess, learn some other ones that potentially I don't know about.
Are we cool yet? Like many groups in the SCP universe, AWCY exists as yet another fringe group that meddles with paranormal forces for their own goals. It just so happens that their goals consist of little more than creating really weird art pieces, many of which end up in Foundation custody. As usual, I'll be primarily looking at a handful of these contained exhibits to give us a better idea about the group, but let's see how they operate. Unlike many groups, Are We Cool Yet? Have no centralized leadership, no headquarters, no strict rules or traditions.
Plenty of pictures of art exhibits because, art.
And no official lists of members. Really, all it takes to be a part of Are We Cool Yet? Is to say that you are part of it, and to make anomalous art.
Easy.
Anomalous art is
How does one make anomalous art, though?
And we'll get to some examples in a bit. But not all anomalous artists are a part of AWCY. AWCY members tend to make art that is both highly visible to the public and often highly dangerous, leading some to decry the group as art terrorists. A potential origin for the group is outlined in the tale Birth of the Cool.
Birth of the Cool,
During the 19th century, the realm of science began to slowly understand the paranormal, and certain artists of the world took notice, beginning to create their own paranormal art pieces. By 1870, Paris was the center of anomalous art, and the debate about whether it should even exist.
The Louvre, I can see that.
In 1874, the Salon des Magnifiques refused to allow any works of a phantasmagorical nature to be displayed at their grand exhibition. So a group of anomalous artists went off and started their own exhibition, held at the...
Wouldn't it be crazy if like the Sistine Chapel was anomalous in some kind of way, and anyone that goes in there has some kind of anomalous effect applied to them?
Same time.
Who knows, maybe it does, and I
The
don't
show was
even,
called
I haven't covered that yet.
Sommes-nous devenus magnifiques, which translates to, have we become magnificent?
Yeah.
It was the talk of the town for months, and it was clear that this type of art wasn't going anywhere. This paranatural exhibition would be held every 10 years in different hidden locations, and the world of anomalous art would continue to grow. There would be a schism in this world, though, that came to a head at the 1924 exhibition between two anomalous artists. One was a French surrealist, and the other a Mexican artist who embraced the more accessible and realistic side of art. The two debated for days before the opening of the exhibition about the relation of the artist to their work, the importance of context, of faith, knowledge, law, free will, God, the state, and so on. It seems that as the exhibition opened, they had come to understanding one another, and a photo was taken of them standing in front of the doors, with one leaning in to whisper into the other's ear. For decades, people speculated what might have been said there, or whether it was a challenge, or an affirmation of their understanding one another, or a reminder of why they were there, or an expression of amazement at how many had come to see their exhibition. According to one
Probably just burped in his ear.
reporter who claims that he was close enough to hear, it was all of those, summed up in 4 words. Are we cool yet?
Makes
Whether
sense.
that's the actual origin of the movement or just a fun anecdote is up in the air, and really doesn't matter that much.
I mean, yeah, it could also just be, like just a coincidence, I guess. I mean, just like, the guy could have just been saying, "Hey, man, you think we're cool yet?" Like we actually made it. We hit the big time, Or it could actually have meaning, and they could be like, "Oh, we're a part of this now."
The point is that for decades, members or claimed members of AWCY have been creating art pieces with the goal of shocking, amazing, and changing the world at large. Whether or not they're all art terrorists is up for debate, but I'd say the Foundation is perfectly fine with that definition, and have been cleaning up their messes for years. Let's look at some of those messes then, at least the ones that could be cleaned up. I've already talked about one of the most popular AWCY creations, SCP-1057, Absence of Shark, in my Aquatic SCPs video, so we'll skip over that.
Haven't checked that one yet, so good. You're skipping it.
SCP-1802 is a small robot, about 30 centimeters tall, composed of chicken bones, iron, leather, wire, heavy twine, and a tin can for a head. It is covered in a piece of white canvas resembling a lab coat, and has safety goggles secured on its head using screws. The robot is sapient and capable of speech, but is wholly devoted to the single task of collecting any miscellaneous objects it can find and storing them in out-of-sight places, such as behind a dumpster or at the foot of a tree. The objects it collects are generally worthless, including a bottle cap, acorns, insects, coat buttons, wrappers, or even small creatures such as a gecko. It's noted that the gecko escaped shortly after the robot collected it, though. It even managed to remove a road sign using stolen tools, but was not large enough to move it, so it merely buried it in place with leaves. 1802 was discovered by the Foundation when it attempted to remove a security camera on the exterior of a Foundation facility. In an interview with the robot, it claims that its earliest memory is waking up and seeing a group of people moving around making signs or pouring things. A man in charge of the robot told it that its purpose is to keep anything it finds and to study them so that it can learn. By doing this task, it will become cool.
Wonder if it's a situation where, like, he created it, like he said, for this task to go and do that. Gather information, and then at various times would then find the robot and get that information from them. Kind of situation, or by creating the robot, whatever the robot creates thus becomes anomalous itself. Kind of a situation.
It collects everything it finds because it was told that it doesn't understand much. It was then placed outside and told to keep moving west, collecting things, until it came to a gate with a camera on it. It then tells the Foundation details about the building it came out of, leading the Foundation to raid the place.
Rip.
The last detail it provides is the name it was given, Skip.
Skip's a
At
good
the
name.
building, the Foundation
name for a
only
little
found
robot.
a cardboard box with
I
a
could see him
note
being a
attached,
Skip.
reading, "Found this for you. Appreciate the gestures." And
Pollyanna.
"Special procedures. Figure it out." Inside the
Paulina.
box was a white bottle cap, which the Foundation collected and labeled as an SCP. Basically, this whole thing was just an Are We Cool Yet member making fun of the SCP Foundation and what they do. Skip, the robot,
Ugh.
named after the phonetic pronunciation of an SCP, collects things in the world that it doesn't understand and stores them away from prying eyes.
I gotcha.
Sometimes things escape, such as lizards, and other times the Foundation contains things on the spot because they can't move them for whatever reason, like the road sign.
I
As a
gotcha.
final joke, they left the white bottle cap, implying that it's an anomaly, and the Foundation scooped it up and stored it away, just like Skip would. In uncommon fashion, then, no one ended up getting hurt from this AWCY piece. On the other hand, we have something like SCP-1590, an application designed for touchscreen devices called the Book of Tamlin.
The Book
Upon
of
booting up,
Tamlin.
the application displays a welcome message saying, "To Joey, who taught me how to be cool," and the name of the last person who played
Does see me and Joey from Friends?
the game, who almost made it out. The Book of Tamlin is a game consisting of a series of images of different rooms, and the player is given subsequent tasks to complete in each room, all of which consist of locating different objects in the room.
Huh.
Basically, it's a really messed up version of those cool I Spy books.
It's kind of like, yeah, a Backrooms I Spy thing. Kind of where my mind went with it.
The game consists of anywhere between 7 and 43 rooms, and the player also has a time limit between 1 and 12 minutes. The images and tasks are all personally relative to the player, beginning somewhat benign, before becoming increasingly personal and traumatic.
The fuck, dude? Like, are these supposed to be people, like, wrapped up in a cocoon?
There isn't really any winning of the game, though, as at either a random point during the game or when the timer runs out,
I can't stop
the
yawning,
screen
dude.
displays the text, "You found out everything there is to find about the house. Now all you have left to find is the way out." The game then
Well, that
ends
sucks.
and can't be replayed by the same person. Within 72 hours of this point, a door the player opens in real life will open instead to a room from the game they played. And eventually, every door the player opens will open into the game, practically forcing them in.
Yikes.
After they go through, all contact will be lost with the individual.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck.
Some examples of the games played by individuals. One D-class player saw a farm owned by his uncle, where his parents sent all of his pets, with the task of finding the graves of all 7 of his childhood pets.
I wonder if it's a situation where, like, because it's anomalous, like, you know how to code? Could you get in there and change the game code to, like become Hacker Man, you know? Do a little Neo action and create a door kind of a situation?
Another image for the same D-class was a locker room from his middle school, where he was involved in multiple altercations, with the task of finding the 13 boys who made his childhood a living hell. After finishing the game, the D-class opened a door that revealed the same locker room, at which point he charged through. An agent for the Foundation played the game, seeing an image of his time on deployment in Korea. The task is to find the buddies he left behind.
Yikes. That was,
the door he opened in real life opened to the same scene, and he willingly entered with survival gear. Not all participants have entered willingly, as one female D-class was sedated and forced through to confront her childhood trauma.
Bro, how much would that suck, right? Like, to be forced to have to go into a room that has no exit. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, I assume none of them make it back out, right? So if like that's the case, you're literally just throwing someone to their death or starve to death in there, you know, or dehydrate, whatever. Like, might as well just kill them, right? I mean, because you lose contact with them, right? Like, you're not going to get any kind of information from them if they don't make it back. And being, from what I understand, he said, you know, once you go in, no one comes back out. Like,
In the end, once you play through, unless you can avoid opening doors for the rest of your life, you're going to have to go through. From most points of view, it seems more like cruel torture than a piece
yeah,
of art, but I guess maybe I'm not cool.
I guess not.
Art is often created to change how people think about things, and that leads us to SCP-1127, which takes that concept pretty literally. 1127 are a series of anomalous short films, primarily composed of scenes taken from other films and videos. A narrator has also been added to each film, providing commentary and occasionally interacting with objects and characters from the original footage. Anomalous effects occur after an individual watches one of these films for at least 20 minutes, resulting in a permanent change to their normal behavior. One film, titled Were Clowns Always Yellow, takes footage from The Sound of Music, The Night Porter, The Day the Clown Cried, Surf Nazis Must Die, and archival footage from World War II. The narrator, a man wearing a Nazi uniform with his face obscured by clown makeup, comments that when our lives become
A Nazi clown. That's just what we need, dude.
the joke, humor becomes a war crime. The punchline,
What'd he say?
Nazi uniform with his face obscured by clown makeup, comments that when our lives become the joke, humor becomes a war crime. The punchline is always death, and to get it is to abandon the pretense that getting it matters. Laugh at the reality that is laughing at you. At this point, the narrator produces a pistol and shoots actor Jerry Lewis in the back of the head.
Yikes.
After watching the film, viewers will consider it to be the funniest thing they've ever seen, but will express disturbance and disgust at any normally humorous communication.
What the fuck is that?
Most jokes will be seen as offensive, but material that is normally offensive or distressing will be seen as amusing. Another film, titled Crazy Where You Are, combines footage from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Faces of Death, various animated short films featuring Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry, and a Three Stooges short. The narrator is a female child around 12 years old, wearing a blue dress and a black domino mask. Throughout the film, she slowly dismembers a teddy bear with a small knife, and asks questions such as, "Are you afraid of violence?" and whether violence is the answer or the question.
She's chopping up Teddy Ruxpin, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because these are supposed to be like anomalous things, but it's like some of this stuff's pretty fucked up, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know how to put it. So, is it a situation where, like, because I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. So, like, the art and stuff that they're making, it's anomalous, right? And it has these things that make people feel certain things or do certain things or whatever. Like the movie they just talked about where, you know, watching someone get shot in the back of the head is considered the funniest thing they've ever seen, kind of a situation. And various other movies, you know, things that are supposed to be funny make you feel terrible, or things that are terrible make you feel funny. So it's like, and in all of these cases, it, you know, it seems like it's some pretty messed up stuff. So it's like, are there any artists out there that make anomalous, like, stuff like this where it's like not something like so traumatic, you know? something like that, where it's just like art that has, you know, makes someone feel like a higher thing. I don't know. I don't know how I want to phrase it, but like so far everything has been just like stuff that's messed up. And so it's like, are all these people from Are We Cool yet? Like, is it because they've been affected again, you know, by Aligata, and so everything with Aligata is pretty messed up, and so like a lot of the art they create is, you know, that way? Or I'm just trying to figure out like what is it that, or why is it? I mean, maybe he'll let me know as we go through the video a little bit more, but it's like, why is it that all the anomalous art has to be something that's like, again, so messed up or so traumatic or whatever, you know? Why can't, you know, I don't know. I guess it's just, I'm not art, you know, I'm not phrasing things very well here. It's late and I'm kind of tired, so my brain isn't 100% working right, and I've had a headache all day, honestly. But yeah, I just want to understand, I guess, if there even is, like, why all the art has to is I don't know. Let's just continue with this, because
After watching the film,
I'm not
viewers
making
will
my
generally express
statement
no
clear.
strong emotional response to it, and will also lose interest and emotional connections to things, activities, and people.
All right, let me listen to that again.
Throughout the film, she slowly dismembers a teddy bear with a small knife, and asks questions such as, "Are you afraid of violence?" And
You know, so it's like that, for example. Like, it's a film about a kid who's dismembering a teddy bear, and doing kinds of weird stuff like that. Like, why couldn't it be something where, like, instead of dismembering a teddy bear, she like creates a teddy bear, and this teddy bear goes out and does wonderful things, and because of the film or whatever, people's outlook on life is like changed for the better. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know, like how you hear stories about people with PTSD and things like that that like might take psilocybin or DMT or whatever, and they have like kind of a life altering event, and they, you know, are able to work through their trauma and stuff like that. Like why is it that some of the stuff can't be like that instead of just, you know, completely all messed up? Like, is that something that We Are Cool? Like, is that just what they are doing? Are they purposely like Doctor Wondertainment, you know, in a way? They're like, they're making art that's like supposed to be strictly chaotic. You know what I mean? Like, is that what their goal is? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
whether violence is the answer or the question. After watching the film, viewers will generally express no strong emotional response to it, and will also lose interest and emotional connections to things, activities, and people.
See, so like, instead of having people lose their emotional connection, you know, why not have the opposite, where like their emotional connections to things become enhanced? They feel more, they care about people more, their family, their loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, is all of the stuff that, you know, the members of We Are Cool create, do they all have negative effects, or is it just based on the person viewing it, you know, et cetera, et cetera?
They will also fail to react to dangerous and hostile environments, and will start to injure others merely out of curiosity. Another film is especially dangerous, as viewing it is liable to make viewers compulsively perform illegal and perverse activities. Since these films are popping up randomly around the internet, in video stores, and in theaters, you can see how AWCY gets pretty easily labeled as terrorists.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's just because of like, I don't know. Let's just continue.
Speaking of compelling people to do things just for the sake of being cool, there's another app, SCP-1883. This one's pretty simple, as the app just displays a user's score, and every 5 to 9 hours updates with a new task that they can perform to earn points. It's not really clear how the app can tell when a user has completed a task, but there is a mild compulsive effect that encourages players to continue performing tasks. This effect increases when numerous players gather together to compete, and they begin to follow informal hierarchies based on each other's scores. If a task involves communication with another person, the app will somehow spread to that person's phone, making the app fairly dangerous, as of course the tasks become pretty worrisome. Looking at a sample list of tasks provided, it starts out fairly basic, awarding 1 point for saluting the sun, and 7 points for finding a horse and watching it for 30 minutes, 3 points for banging your head against a wall, and 10 points for telling a stranger what you really think about them. If you manage to turn gold into lead, you get 999 points, which is pretty cool.
I guess.
The instructions sometimes include text that isn't a task, such as, if Babe Ruth was that great, why did he need a bat? To earn 150 points, you must rob a bank, but only take quarters. For only half a point, you can convince another person that you are dead, and if you kick a yellow dog, you get no points, which you would think no one would do, but you'd be surprised, I'm sure. 200 points to eat something that has been in a grave, and 90 points to walk on glass and describe the noise it makes.
Yeah, I feel like this is just all like Agents of Chaos stuff. Like,
Sometimes
do
you
random
might have to
things.
ignore a task to get 21 points, which is probably trickier than it seems. And if you gain 5 points, you get 5 points. If you burn an irreplaceable object...
So that's something, though, that's like infinite? Like, if you gain 5 points, you gain 5 points because you gained 5 points because you gained 5 points. You know what I'm saying? Is it like, keep going like that?
And manage to replace it, that's worth 100 points. But it's only 15 points if you love someone. Sometimes, breathing might actually cost you 200 points.
What?
And a couple tasks are apparently so horrific that the Foundation expunged them, worth 300 and 450 points. The text after those two says, "The real skeleton was inside you all along. Are we cool yet?" The Foundation heard about the app after an incident in which at least 72 people irreparably wounded their left eyes with household objects, most of which were using the app, meaning that some did it just for the fun of it. Stendal syndrome is a supposed psychosomatic condition that involves people suffering from heart palpitations, fainting, and even hallucinations after viewing art of incredible beauty. Members of AWCY would of course be interested in this phenomenon, bringing us to SCP-1074, an oil painting on canvas that, when photographed, just looks completely gray. When viewed directly, though, viewers suffer from symptoms similar to Stendal syndrome, and will attempt to vividly describe the painting they are seeing to any nearby. No two viewers have described it as the same artwork, but they all agree that it is the most beautiful and moving piece of art they have ever seen.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder kind of
their
painting.
heads from it unless forced, and will attempt to convince everyone else nearby to view it as well. They will also begin to discuss philosophical questions related to the painting, bringing up human mortality, individual insignificance, legal or moral judgment, and religious eschatology. Within 3 to 5 minutes of exposure, the individual will become permanently catatonic, but will continue to display brain activity as if they were fully awake and aware. If forcibly removed before this point, they will stave off catatonia for some time, continuing to describe every detail of the painting, and report even seeing it in their dreams. Typically within 5 to 8 days, though, they will slip into the same coma unless treated with amnestics to wipe their memories.
Interesting.
Even then, though, the Foundation has yet to find a way to permanently prevent it, and the longest someone has gone is 6 weeks before going catatonic.
So again, it's like, why? Like, what's the goal behind all these things? And I guess that's just, you know, my mind trying to find like reason behind this kind of stuff, because it just seems like they're just like making art because and applying anomalous effects chaotically. Like I said, it just feels like random chaos. Like, why would you make a painting like I again, like you could make a painting that's so beautiful that it has a profound effect on someone's life in certain ways and make them better, you know, but like why would you make it so profound that they go into a coma essentially if they look at it too much? Like what's the benefit of that? You know? Like I feel like, again, like I said, it's my mind looking for reasons because I feel like there has to be like a reason or motive behind everything, but it could just be, again, just random chaos. And again, the question for me comes up is like, what I guess what is the reason behind creating these paintings? You know, again, is it something where like other entities or things are forcing them to do it? Are they I don't know. I don't know what the proper word is. Are like the people anomalous themselves and like they have to do it or something like that? Like, I don't know. I think again, I think it's just because I'm trying to find reason behind something where there probably isn't some. And so it just is like random chaos and what these people are doing with these paintings, and there's no real reason as to why they're making this art and the anomalous effects that they have. And I would assume some of them probably might not even know like they're creating anomalous art. They might just be doing it and it has anomalous effects. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong though. Because again, if it is part of Are We Cool Yet, you know, you would think then that they would understand what they're doing and the kind of effects that their art is going to have on people.
In an interview with the D class who was exposed to the painting, he describes it with confusion, as it seems to be a painting of himself on his knees, crying. There are flames all around him, and he surmises that he's in hell, along with Jesus Christ. Jesus is scowling at the D class, and he is holding a flaming sword, as well as a scale with a heart on one side and an apple on the other. The apple is depicted as heavier, and the man interprets this to mean that Jesus is judging him, and he is guilty. Although he had vehemently denied in court the crime of murdering his wife and child, he now admits to it, and says that, of course, Jesus knows, and it all makes sense now. He says that he is nothing and everything. Everything is nothing, and that everything is imaginary. We have to exist, though, and we must will ourselves into existence in order to vanquish the dreamer that dreams of our existence.
That's a very interesting statement. Nothing is everything and everything is nothing, and we have to will ourselves into existence in order to something about the dreamer.
He says that he is nothing and everything.
He is nothing and
everything. Is nothing.
Everything is nothing.
Everything
is imaginary.
We have to exist, though, and we must will ourselves into existence.
Must will ourselves into existence.
Vanquish the dreamer that dreams of our existence.
In order to vanquish the dreamer that dreams of our existence. That's a very interesting statement. Essentially, you're saying that all creation is a dream of God, essentially. And that we have to will ourselves into existence in God's dream in order to vanquish God who is dreaming us. But would that then make everything cease to exist? Or would you then become God? You know, is that, you know, etc. That's a very interesting statement.
After going silent for some time, the D class says that he has one question. Are we cool yet? That's a question we'll likely never have a definitive answer to,
Yeah.
AWCY is a disjointed, confusing mess of an organization.
No kidding.
Just the way they prefer it. There's no real goals or end game for me to discuss here. It's all simply art, and art can't always be readily explained.
True.
There is a lengthy series of tales regarding AWCY called The Cool War, which I didn't touch upon at all in this video, so we'll have to save that for another time.
Okay.
As it provides a more specific look at members of the group.
Okay. I kind of want to go through that then to get a little bit more information about the specific members and maybe some more information as to who, what, where, why, you know, they are doing what they're doing.
AWCY aren't the most popular group of interest, as they often come across as pretentious and insufferable. And they are a far cry from the unknowable Lovecraftian roots of the SCP universe. Love them or hate them, though, you can't deny the efforts they go through just to be cool.
All right. Well, we have a quote. We're getting a quote at the end here. We're getting a fucking quote. Hell yeah, brother. Stop making things because you can. Stop making things because you want. Stop making things because you can. Stop making things because you want to make things like everyone else. Stop making things because you already saw the same thing and wanted to do it again. Stop making things that aren't yours. Stop making things that aren't cool. You want to know why we aren't cool yet? Because we includes all of us. And sadly, you're one of us. And you just aren't cool. Well, there you go. So, that was the Exploring series. Are we cool yet? Links will be down below in the description to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Exploring series channel. If you enjoyed this video of his, please do me a favor, click that link, go over here and give his video a like. And if you're not subscribed to the Exploring series, please do me a favor and go over there and give the man some love by hitting that sub button on his channel. He definitely deserves it. He makes a lot of great content for the SCP universe and plenty of others. So go over there and check out his stuff. So, I mean, like I said, pretty much as I went through this, and I pretty much summed up my thoughts, like, to me, the thing that seems most interesting is just the fact that all the artwork you at least explained in this video seem to just things that affect people negatively. There was nothing really explained that affected people in any kind of positive way. And so to me, the question is, why is that? Because, like, again, the idea of art is that it's supposed to be subjective to the person viewing it, right? So I would think that any kind of anomalous effect that would happen to people would be based on the viewer and how the painting moves them, or how the movie, you know, makes them feel, or whatever. I mean, again, some of them might be made to give people specific feelings and emotions, or the opposite of them, as was stated in you know, some of the videos. But because none of them that were explained really had any kind of beneficial effect to anyone that was watching them, or saw any of the works of art, it just makes me think, like, what is it about the, like, why, I guess, is the question. Like, what do these people in this group, Are We Cool Yet, what do they get out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like a fetish thing for them, I guess, where they just like making artwork, pieces of art, movies, etc., that they know are going to mess with people in certain ways? You know, is it like a troll thing like that? Is that something that just makes them feel good? You know? Like, again, I think it's just a situation where I'm trying to, like, find a reason behind what it is they're doing, and there probably really isn't one, and it's just, you know, random chaos, like I said. But it's strange to me that, you know, everything they make has a seemingly negative effect. You would think that if they're just making art and they're going to be part of this, you know, club, Anomalous, you know, doesn't necessarily have to, you know, have a negative outcome from it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just strange to me that that's the case, but who knows? Not everything, obviously, that they've gone through was probably described here, but it just makes me think that there is some kind of end game or goal that they have that we just don't necessarily understand, or that isn't necessarily clear. So I don't know, but so yeah, that was the Exploring series article. Yet, like I said, links down below in the description. If you would like to join us when I do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. You can get early access to videos, priority any kind of reaction requests you might have. There's a sub Discord channel, which if you have become a member recently, if you want to join the Discord, you know, there is a link for the Discord down below in the description. But make sure to link your YouTube and your Discord accounts together so that you can get access to the member Discord channels, etc. But the Discord's open to everyone, so we'd love to see you guys come in there. And we'd love to have you guys come in here and you know, join the discussions and add your 2 cents to what we go through in these videos. So if you'd like to do that, again, check out the YouTube membership benefits and tiers and see if any of those would have any interest for you. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and a sub, because it helps me and the channel grow, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day, everyone.